When Ozzy Osbourne left Black Sabbath in 1979, many believed his career was finished. He had been the wild frontman of one of the most influential heavy metal bands of the 1970s, but years of substance abuse, erratic behavior, and strained relationships had left him broken and adrift. Yet from this low point emerged a comeback story that not only redefined his career, but also reshaped the future of heavy metal. That story begins with the release of Blizzard of Ozz in 1980, Ozzy's debut solo album, a record that shocked critics, thrilled fans, and established him as a legend in his own right. Its success was not immediate or guaranteed, but the combination of raw talent, new musical partnerships, and a bold creative vision turned the album into one of the most important in metal history. The creation of Blizzard of Ozz was born out of desperation and determination. After being fired from Black Sabbath in 1979, Ozzy isolated himself in a hotel room in Los Angeles for weeks, drowning in alcohol and self-pity. Many around him doubted he would recover, let alone produce another great record. But then came a pivotal moment when he was introduced to Sharon Arden, the daughter of music manager Don Arden. Sharon recognized that Ozzy still had star power and musical brilliance, even if he was consumed by chaos. She pushed him to form a new band, and together they began looking for musicians who could inspire fresh creativity. The turning point came when Ozzy met a young guitarist named Randy Rhoads. Rhoads, a classically trained musician with a flair for blending melodic sophistication with heavy riffs, was unlike anyone Ozzy had worked with before. From their very first audition session, Ozzy knew he had found something extraordinary. The chemistry between them was instant, and Rhoads' playing reignited Ozzy's passion for music. Alongside bassist Bob Daisley and drummer Lee Key, Horselake, the group began writing songs that would become the foundation of Blizzard of Ozz. Their approach was collaborative, with Daisley contributing heavily to the lyrics and arrangements, while Rhoads crafted dazzling guitar lines that blended heavy metal with elements of classical music. Released in the UK on September 20, 1980, Blizzard of Ozz marked a bold new chapter for Ozzy. The album was both familiar and fresh. It carried the dark, heavy spirit of Sabbath but introduced a new sense of melody, accessibility, and technical brilliance. The opening track, I Don't Know, set the tone with driving riffs and lyrics that reflected Ozzy's uncertainty about the future. It was a fitting declaration of vulnerability and defiance, capturing his state of mind after being cast out of Sabbath. Yet it was the second track, Crazy Train, that would become the album's defining anthem. With its instantly recognizable riff, energetic chorus, and lyrics about fear, war, and social madness, Crazy Train catapulted Ozzy back into the spotlight. The song became one of heavy metal's most iconic singles, and remains a staple of classic rock radio decades later. The album's diversity was part of its brilliance. Tracks like Goodbye to Romance showcased a softer, almost ballad-like side of Ozzy, reflecting his personal pain, but also his newfound hope. Written in the wake of leaving Sabbath, the song carried an emotional depth that resonated with fans who felt the loss of that era, but were eager to embrace Ozzy's rebirth. On the other end of the spectrum, Suicide Solution stirred controversy with its provocative title and lyrics. While critics accused the song of promoting self-harm, Ozzy insisted it was a cautionary reflection on the dangers of alcoholism, inspired by the tragic death of AC/DC's Bon Scott earlier that year. Despite the controversy, or perhaps because of it, the song drew attention to the album and cemented Ozzy's reputation as both rebellious and misunderstood. One of the standout moments on Blizzard of Ozz was Mr. Crowley, a haunting track inspired by the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley. With Rhoads' neoclassical guitar solos and Don Airey's gothic keyboards, the song created a dark, theatrical atmosphere that captured the imagination of fans. It became another signature Ozzy song, combining shock value with genuine musical artistry. Other tracks like Steal Away, The Night, and No Bone Movies added energy and humor, balancing the heavier themes with moments of levity. Commercially, Blizzard of Ozz was an unexpected triumph. Initially, The album received mixed reviews from critics who were unsure whether Ozzy could succeed without Black Sabbath. Some dismissed it as a vanity project, while others underestimated the contributions of Rhoads and the rest of the band. However, fans quickly embraced the record, and word of mouth spread rapidly. The album climbed the charts in both the UK and the United States, eventually going quadruple platinum in America. Its singles, particularly Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, received significant radio airplay and became fan favorites at live shows. The success of Blizzard of Ozz was not just about sales. It was about redemption. For Ozzy, the album proved that he was more than just the voice of Black Sabbath. He was a creative force capable of leading his own band and shaping his own musical identity. For the heavy metal genre, the album marked a turning point, signaling a new era in which technical guitar work, theatrical imagery, and accessible songwriting could coexist. Randy Rhoads emerged as a guitar hero for a new generation, influencing countless musicians with his innovative style. The impact of the album extended far beyond its initial release. In the years following, Blizzard of Ozz became a blueprint for 1980s heavy metal, inspiring bands like Metallica, Megadeth, and Pantera. Its combination of heavy riffs, melodic hooks, and virtuosic solos became a standard that many sought to emulate. The album also laid the foundation for Ozzy's solo career, which would continue with albums like Diary of a Madman and Bark at the Moon. Without the success of Blizzard of Ozz, it is unlikely that Ozzy would have maintained his relevance into the decades that followed. Tragically, Randy Rhoads' life and career were cut short in 1982 when he died in a plane crash at the age of 25. His death shocked the music world and left Ozzy devastated. Yet his contributions to Blizzard of Ozz ensured that his legacy lived on. The album became not just a milestone in Ozzy's career, but also a tribute to Rhoads' genius. Every time fans hear the soaring solos of Crazy Train or the haunting notes of Mr. Crowley, they are reminded of the young guitarist's brilliance. Part of what made Blizzard of Ozz successful was its ability to reach beyond the traditional metal audience. The songs were heavy enough to satisfy metal fans, but also catchy enough to attract mainstream listeners. This crossover appeal helped Ozzy expand his fan base and secure a place on major tours and festivals. The visual aspect also played a role. Ozzy's eccentric stage presence combined with the band's dramatic sound created a spectacle that audiences couldn't resist. Over the years, Blizzard of Ozz has been reissued, remastered, and celebrated in countless retrospectives. In 2010, the album was re-released with bonus tracks and expanded liner notes, introducing it to a new generation of listeners.